So I asked a bunch of questions on this. So first of all, we can't actually turn in the application until we have both the PER and because we have to have the scope of the project laid out in the PER, which Dee is in the process of working on right now. And then we also have to have the environmental taken care of before we actually send in the application. So, so kind of the application is kind of the third. I mean, they all happen simultaneously, but the application.
And there's a time period, right?
There's a time period. So here's the deal, though, that we're already at the end of the fiscal year, so they may run out of funding. There's no way to know. So what Al was saying was that, you know, what happens at the end of the fiscal year is if there are states that have not yet depleted all their funds and California has depleted their funds, it's possible that we can get funds from another state. Sometimes that happens, sometimes it doesn't.
But he says it's more than likely
it's very possible. And then if that doesn't happen, then it might take a little longer because normally their funding doesn't get passed by Congress right away, so there's always like some issues with that. So then it's more likely sometime in March, so like January, February, March. Even though they're supposed to vote on it in October, but it never happens that way. So so that was kind of the timeline. And then I asked a bunch of questions just in regards to the way we're already set up. So I asked if we needed a bond counsel. The bond counsel is required over $500,000. So it's about a $975,000 project right now.
$971.
$971. So we probably will need a bond counsel. He reiterated that most likely it's going to be loan, although there's a possibility of some grant, but we should anticipate primarily loan. I asked him about sorry. I asked him about Prop 218 because, as you know, we went out and did a Prop 218. You know, the state did it for us, and we still have 2 years left on that Prop 218, and so we don't want to raise rates. You know, that would be not a good thing. So, as far as I'm concerned, so I asked about, you know, what the possibility was as far as because we have an emergency reserve, we have, you know, a couple other reserves, so we have our original general fund.
Yeah, they'll factor all that in.
So they factor in.
And I think we're probably in pretty good shape. So, I mean, with where we're at, and I brought it up that, you know, that we were already at like a $65 base rate. So, more than likely, that will be okay, and we won't have to raise rates.
And our issue is that we're a severely disadvantaged community. However, because the federal government goes by the census, so it goes by the 2010 census. The 2020 census is not going to happen in time for us to be reclassified. In the 2010 census, we weren't classified as a severely disadvantaged community. So if we were severely disadvantaged, we could get full grant. But because the census is what they use as opposed to it, you know, the state kind of goes by stuff every year, but the federal government doesn't, so we have to stick with that 2010. So that's why it's possibly going to be mostly loan. So that's the only problem with that. And you know, we need to put the well in before after the 2020 census is going to take a while, but hopefully we'll get reclassified again in the 2020 census when that happens. Hopefully everybody fills out the census in Fraser Park and isn't scared away by all the census stuff that's been going on. So because the census is really crucial to us getting, you know, what they say our median income is for Fraser Park is critical to whether we get grants or not. So so if you're in the community, pass that on to people. When the census happens, I know a lot of people get scared and don't want to tell them anything, and unfortunately we really need it because
and hopefully the well-paid people don't answer it.
Yeah, we don't need the wealthiest people in Fraser Park to answer. We need the median income, which, you know, because we really are, when you look at the whole median income, we're severely disadvantaged. But if you look at just, you know, probably some of the people who are more likely to answer the census, we might look better than we are. So unfortunately. So we talked about that. I asked about the reserve accounts, and all that works the same way. So if we do have to do a bond council, we do have to have either line items that the auditor can differentiate between the different, which loans are which, or what we did. I didn't even realize this because when I first got on the board and we had the very first USDA loan grant, I didn't understand some of it. I thought the bond council kind of told us what to do, and I thought that was the USDA making us do it that way. The USDA just requires a line item, but the bond council, which was very smart of him, kind of insisted that we have separate accounts. And so then I just sort of imitated that when we did the second one, and so we opened yet more accounts. And so this time we probably should do the same thing because it's really an easier way than just, having
Easier to track.
It's much easier to track, yeah. So we'll probably do the same thing. We won't need as many accounts, and we should be able to use the construction account we already have, and a couple of the accounts we already have. The payment account and the construction account don't have to be replaced because those are already USDA accounts. So those were my questions, and they got answered as I thought they would. So that was kind of where we left off, and so we just need to move forward on this. And Dee's in the middle of the PER. Oh, and I also asked if we can be reimbursed for because the PER and the environmental you always have to pay for first. Dave said that he could get possibly money to pay for the environmental, but the problem is you have to wait too long, so it's better to try to move forward. But it's possible that some of this funding that we're applying for, right away might be able to cover both the PER or the environmental or
through self-help.
Basically through the loan. Basically what happens is that we do all the preliminary work and we pay for it up front, and then it'll be part of the project cost of the loan. And that, whatever our portion is, because if portion of it is grant, we always have to do our project costs first. That'll be included in the project costs, and then we'll get reimbursed the grant.
But it was also suggested that it's possible that in the other grants we're doing, the short-term funding grants, that we might be able to use one of those for, at least for engineering report, right?
Is that from USDA?
Not from USDA, it's
Irwin.
the Irwin. The short-term stuff, if we got it
You can
quickly
get-
enough.
Well, my understanding is these applications, the ones that are due this Monday, July 15th, those are for the engineering report. Like you guys are asking for money for the engineering report and for the plans and specs.
Okay,
Is that right?
so not the PER, the actual full report.
Yeah, the PER.
Yes, it includes the PER.
Okay.
Oh, and that's what Dave is.
That's
not-
what we're,
that's what,
so we're working
We're
on.
not- and
D
we're not
is
at that.
working on,
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we're not at that
because I think I remember
Applicant
the
number
D,
D is working on the PER.
yeah, okay, because we thought that it might be easier since we already had the well right there, right? Some
Well,
of
we
it would
still
be-
have to do the environmental, but it'll probably be an exemption. But the work still has to be done, so,
Okay,
and we'll have to pay for that up front.
And we still have to do the PER, even though it's similar to what we already have.
Dave's thinking he could do the environmental work itself, and I was telling him that we did environmental for that whole site in our last project, so a lot of the information ought to be able to just be transferred over. Nothing's changed since we put in the booster house there.
Yeah, Al wasn't familiar with any of our other projects, but we know that we've already done environmental in that area, so.
okay, yeah, cause I was like,
Yeah, Al said that it could be applicable, but he's just not familiar with that yet.
okay. So then,
So I think that's it, there's nothing more to do.
Yeah, so the phone conversation was mostly just informational. It wasn't, we didn't.
Well, you asked the right questions.
okay,
So what we do need to do though is to vote on going forward, right? Because we don't
With the
have a vote
Irwin
yet.
applications, yeah.
Well, yeah, but we're not to that.
No, on this, on the grant loan. We haven't approved that we even go forward on it.
Oh, Yeah, we did, didn't we?
I thought we did that before.
I don't think we did.
On the you
On-
did vote on the application.
On the
submitting an
application, to go
application.
forward on the application, because I was, said,
We voted on that last meeting.
Or two
To
meetings
move
ago.
forward with the application,
two
yeah.
meetings ago, I think it was.
Not to accept or not accept a loan, but
But
just to
to-
submit an application.
To,
That was voted on the minutes, right?
Okay,
yeah,
I thought we didn't vote on it.
no. Okay,
Well, I make a motion that we that we continue, which we've already authorized the PER, and that we go forward with the environmental, so that we can get this application complete.
I'll second that motion.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
401. Okay.
So do you know about the meter replacement?
Does this have to do with the Irwin?
No.
Or
No.
is it something else? No,
This
I
is
don't know.
something
So fast.
So that'll have to be for Dave, I guess.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Ah, I missed that. Oops. So I move that 13 be moved forward in the agenda until Dave Warner shows up, whenever that may be.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
401. We'll move that one. Now we're at the Irwin.
Okay, so I handed you guys two different packets. One, this one with the big marks of current Irwin, that's to get your project listed and in their list of projects. And if you go through it, you see that we put, Dave and I started working on it already. And there's already some basic contact information on there. I don't know if you guys have gone through it. I know we sent it to some of the board members, and you guys were supposed to look through it and verify its accuracy. So that's to get the Irwin application listed. This other packet, this one would actually, this one is the actual application to get some funds. And if you turn to page number 3, right there, it estimates the total amount that you guys would be asking for, and you won't know until you ask for it, right? And that would be about 46,400. The PER, or the preliminary engineering report, that's $14,792. That's what Dee told us would be their estimate for that. And then it's also estimating the well design plans and specifications for the well. And that's about $31,608. So I think you guys are supposed to approve, if you guys are gonna approve this being turned in by the deadline, which is July 15 at 5 p.m. this Monday.
Do we wanna try to read this out loud, just to make sure we're all okay with everything, or? No.
You wanna read it out loud?
I didn't go over this on the email.
I didn't either.
Project need. We don't have to do the whole, I mean, the basic information we don't really need to go over. Page 1 is just our basic information. Page 2 is showing
Well, there's a mistake in the applicant name, because our name is Fraser Park Public Utility District, not Fraser Park Utility District.
Oh, there you go.
Fraser Park.
PP,
Number 3, FPPUD.
public. Gotta get the public in there.
Yeah, so I don't
It
know.
is on mine. Oh, we're looking at,
We're
which one
looking
are,
at the project
which one are we
We're
on?
looking at the application.
I
Let's-
was looking at the application.
Let's look at the application form first, because well, they both are due on the 15th, right?
Yeah.
So,
So,
well, I'm on the actual money one, as opposed to
Yeah, that's
the
what, that's
fir-
what we were talking
This
about.
one lists
Oh,
us, and
okay.
this one is the actual application, so I
Okay.
think, number 3, you would be changing that?
yeah.
Okay, so number 3 definitely needs to be fixed.
To, what's the full name?
Fraser Park Public Utility
It's-
District.
Yeah, it's correct on
It's
the other one.
correct on the other form, the other packet that you gave us? You just need public in there.
Okay.
And I like to have a second, but there isn't a way to put a second. Is this just like the other one where you can't put a second person on the point of contact, like our FPPED1 address? Can you
I
put
think
two?
we could fit it in there.
I would like to see us have, I think you could put, cause that one's wrong also, it says General Manager Fraser Park Utility District, I think if up in applicant name, you put Fraser Park Public Utility District in, parentheses FPPUD, and then down here, you can put FPPUD instead of, since it's wrong anyway. And then, Johnny Allison's email, and then if you could put fppud1@gmail.com, that goes to Tiffany, and it goes to us, so hopefully we would catch something if something happened where Johnny didn't catch it.
What's the email again?
FPPUD1, number 1, @gmail.com.
Okay, got it. Well, I think Dave did mention. Is there 2,800 people here?
I believe there's, I don't know, we have 1,300 connections. How,
Oh, yeah,
Johnny, there's
active
more than
connections.
2,800 people, right?
2691 is the population, and it's we got about 1,300 active connections. So
Wow. I didn't know we were that small.
at least it was 2691 according to the last
Census.
census. Yeah.
And is your well casing 60 years old? Your well casing and pump, that's 60 years old?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, actually,
Well,
now it's not, because we just, well, I mean, it's still.
it's still
It's
is
60
10%.
years,
Yeah,
right?
no,
It was-
it's,
well 5 was put in 1965. So whatever that works out to.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Year before I graduated from
one of the things that I know Dave wasn't sure about, if it was 60 years old or not.
You need a close one?
What did you say, 1965?
That's when it was put in. Yeah.
It's like, well, just don't know what.
You got a clipboard
So
handy
it's 54 years.
for him to write on?
54 years.
Clipboard or something, so make it easier.
Give him a notebook.
A book or something.
I think I might have one too, in my office.
Those are the two items that I know.
I'm just reading under project information, make sure that's correct.
so that's where he changed
So the
that to-
2,800 people you fixed.
Very good.
The population might have.
Where did he get that population, do you know?
I don't know.
Yeah, he might have got it from that website that designated us the severely disadvantaged community. You know, when they updated it.
So I think you should check with Dave on that
Yeah,
and make
just,
sure.
yeah,
Okay, then there's a typo, under single well, under that first project description. The first page is like in the middle of the project, of the box that has the project description, it's just a typo. The district,
Oh, so is it twice?
yeah.
yeah, somebody was stuttering.
Oh, I see it.
Do we need to say that we're applying, cause we're not, just applying for Irwin, do we need to say that we're applying for the USDA?
No,
On this application?
Yeah,
no.
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not sure if it's required either, so.
I mean, it
This
says,
well
it says in
will-
other funds, so,
So is there a part that didn't print out, cause it says this well
Yeah.
will,
It didn't all print out in there.
In that box?
Yeah, it did not.
Okay.
But it extends in, when you're in the platform online doing it, it does extend in there. So
uh-huh.
it shows it in there. So when he does submit it, it'll all show up in there.
Okay.
But,
Okay.
I guess he would, if you guys want all the language that he puts in there, I think we can do that. Could do like a separate Word document and just share that with you guys.
but it's gonna be too late because,
Yeah, it's due July 15th.
Well, I'm gonna accept what he did is correct, cause we need to get this in. If there's a typo or something, it's
That's
not a big
fine.
deal.
I mean, the top is enough.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to page 2.
There's words missing on page 2 at the bottom square.
Yeah, well, that's the same thing he's talking about, because
Oh.
the platform online
It-
doesn't
Oh,
open
okay.
up.
Box actually
It
keeps
opens
going.
up, it keeps going, but
Okay.
when he prints it out, it didn't
Got
print
it.
it out, so.
So it looks like Dave got that population number from the US Census from 2013 to 2017.
Oh, nice.
It was a survey,
Spending-
yeah, so
Oh,
that,
nice.
so leave it as is.
I need to ingrain that in my memory banks now.
We grew like 200 people, Johnny.
Yeah. Which is probably true. 2834. 2834.
Climate change impact.
Have you looked over the dates, Johnny?
On the description, around the
Yeah.
project information.
Mm-hmm.
Next page, just flip it.
I'm okay with, everything on page 2.
Yeah, me too.
You guys okay?
Yep.
CO2.
Everything we can see?
Mm-hmm.
Can't escape it.
97,000, okay.
That's what we've already spent on well 5. We gotta get that online Monday.
Did you read the snap?
Everything's okay on page 3.
Okay.
That's why I was asking
On
Johnny
that
about the
first,
dates.
In March 2019, could say January 2019, because that's when we actually pulled the well and videoed it.
Well, actually, the first one's not correct because it's already done. Interim well and pump repairs.
Well, technically, until we get it put back online, it's not done. So-
But wouldn't the end date be July? Oh, I guess.
Well, it doesn't
August,
really, I don't
okay,
think
it
it
doesn't
really
matter.
matters.
It's only a month.
Yeah.
Okay.
The rest of this month. We got 2 weeks.
I think you're splitting hairs.
2 weeks.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, page 4.
Are we still trying to do the mobile home park?
We're still annexing them, we're just not, or we're still, annexing, but they're not getting consolidated into the water company. So basically, they're part of the, sphere of influence, but they wouldn't actually be, we wouldn't be serving them.
Right.
But the water connection would go right up to them, so that at a later point, if they wanted to be served, they would already be in our sphere of influence, and we wouldn't have to re-annex them.
Plus he's
Or we
gonna
wouldn't
have,
have to annex them at that
plus
point.
he's gonna get one more shot
At seeing if they're even interested in
yeah,
just
because
going
now
all
with
the
the
way.
hot, dry summer, he may decide again that he wants to be part of it.
I'm gonna reserve my comment.
Boy, looks good to me.
Looks good to me.
Okay.
Notice of exemption was filed, page 5. D. Jasper. And then he marked the increased water supply on page 6. Really, that's fine. The
Alright,
reason-
so those would be an X, not a check mark, does that matter?
No, it doesn't matter. As long as they're,
Cause some of these some of these agencies are pretty
yeah.
weird about stuff. Okay.
I think it's a check mark because when Dave was on there online, that's what it does.
That's what it does, okay.
Okay, page 7 is fine.
Does it matter that it says Kings Basin, is that?
Yeah, I was,
Where's
It
that?
says it on
On
page
page
six,
number
7 and on page 6. So 6 at the top, Kings Basin, it's talking about everything in Kings Basin, which we're not
Right,
in.
this is current, right?
Yeah,
Well, it's actually, the basin is,
we have our own basin, the basin would be Cuddy.
Cuddy Creek, or Cuddy, what is the name of the basin?
Is it back here somewhere?
Yeah, I can't think of it right now. We're the middle basin, whatever that is.
But it's
So
something to do
yeah, I
with
think you
Cuddy.
might have to
Yeah.
change that on all of them.
We'll check that.
Yeah, check with Dave, cause he probably knows. I mean, I'm thinking on that, this is,
It was probably on an old one that you were doing that you, or something.
maybe not.
Or
It may-
what online
It may be
did.
just
Yeah,
that's the
um,
objective of the Irwin, and we're still included, cause we're in Kern County.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's called King Basin, it's not
Right.
even Kern.
So,
Well, we can check.
Yeah, if you could
with-
just have Dave
he's,
check it.
he'll have Dave check it, and if it needs to be changed, he'll change it.
Yeah, it's on page 6 twice.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Night, Heather.
Yeah, cause this is like Kings River Fisheries Management Program.
Yeah.
Well, it has that same thing on page 6, too,
Yeah,
so.
I know. It has a-
Just have Dave check it out, I mean, he'll change it if it needs to be changed.
Good evening, Linda.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. You knew about it, huh?
Okay, so I'm good with everything on 8,
Yeah.
so,
She's got her hand up.
Director Schoenberg.
I would like to move that we approve the project application with the amendments mentioned to you, and then checking with Dave on a couple of little items.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried, 401.
Okay, and then the cover letter goes, let's see, with this, that's fine. Okay, and then we just need to do the same thing on this other one, so the other one just lists the project and the
Yeah.
agencies that would be,
And then you wanna add the email FPPUD1,
yes,
like
so
a
that-
slash.
Is that your number, 331-2995?
That's my cell phone, yeah, the work cell phone,
You're 2995?
yeah. It's funny, yeah.
My cell phone's 2995.
Yeah, I know, I knew that. Amazing, huh?
That kinda blows my mind.
We do have a website, do you need to have that in there?
We could add it in there.
Yeah, what's the website,
FrazierParkWater.com.
So you're calling the project something different on this than it was in the application?
No, this is just signing up so you're on their website.
I know, but the project is still the project. So shouldn't we call it the same thing? On this, it's called Fraser Park Emergency Replacement Well and Water Supply Project, and on this, it's called Fraser Park New Well Project.
Where do you see that?
Down at the bottom
On
of
the
page
first page,
1.
yeah.
Oh,
The number
Yeah.
4,
So
I think 4 should be on the cover or the.
hold on, let him speak.
Oh yeah, it should be consistent.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that needs
Cause
to
you
be
caught, yeah.
fixed. Probably the emergency replacement well is a better name
Name
than
than-
new
yeah.
well
Yeah.
project.
Yeah,
Gotta catch your title anyway.
well, that's what I'm saying, yeah, put
Emergency.
the other one over there.
I have no idea if our latitude and longitude is correct. I'm hoping that it is.
I'm gonna trust that he did it
Yes.
correctly. And it's new. Everything on here seems okay. Is it 30 miles south? Fraser Park is, are we 30 miles south? I thought we were more like
South of what?
40 miles.
Bakersfield. I think it's 35.
35?
It depends on, now, it depends on if you're
And
going
now we're really
the way a crow flies or if you're driving.
Yeah, and it
And
depends
at
on
what
what part
point
of
are they,
Bakersfield you're talking about.
what point are they starting in?
They go from the, wherever the,
City Hall
Civic, yeah, City Hall.
It's fine.
and it's
Whatever he
always-
has in there is fine. I don't think that's a big deal.
Yeah, that's kind of splitting hairs. This is what you have to look forward to, okay?
Yes, this is what we do. Get used to it.
Hair splitters.
Cool.
That's why Dave looks at me every time with that look he has, because I catch all his typos.
Well, that's good.
Or should I say we all do? Tulare Lake Basin portion, I think that's wrong too. Under project need,
Project needs.
the first paragraph, page 3. I'm pretty sure we're not Tulare Lake Basin portion.
Yeah, just ask Dave.
Can we talk to you for 5 minutes?
And did you wanna, change the water for a community of 28 to 2834? Whatever we had on our project,
Yeah, we can change that.
just so that it's consistent.
Yeah.
And then I guess that 60-year-old well encasing needs to be changed to the 54.
Oh, change it to 54 years?
Yeah, cause well, according to the math, that's how old it is.
And I don't feel like thinking, so I trust you.
I did it on the calculator, so some days I trust myself. I'll check it again though.
Yeah, that's right, 54.
Yeah. I should know, I'm 53, should have been easy math.
Do you wanna use 4 uphill water systems or up gradient, cause usually they, does it matter? That's their usual wording,
For
up gradient,
instead of uphill.
it's the same, but, I mean, that's what they always seem to call it in all the stuff I've read.
Okay.
I'm okay with
Yep,
the rest
I'm
of
okay with
page
that.
3. So it doesn't have the project,
No, so
And you
Dave's
agree-
still working on this, and I'm gonna be helping him out. But the plan is to, once it's approved here, just to get it turned in time.
Yeah, I think
okay,
it's fine.
we're gonna
Well,
give you a vote of confidence to fill it in correctly,
Yep,
right?
yep. Project in the phase of a regional or larger problem, yes. 50 years.
Now, if we don't get the funding until March of 2020, do we need to, could you
Well,
have
it
the
doesn't matter,
start date?
that's just the, what do you mean?
It's got a proposed construction start date,
Right,
it says December,
yeah, it's proposed.
okay.
I mean, and we're already spending the money, so if,
Yeah, if it's later,
if
it's
they,
later.
yeah,
And apparently all that stuff, once it's submitted, can be changed at a later date, that's what Dave was
Yeah, I
telling me.
think this is just really to list it,
Yeah,
and
we just
then
wanna
you
get it on
can
the list,
change
yeah.
stuff.
right. Yeah,
So then the same thing under part 4, it just needs to be consistent with what you put on, so page 7 just needs to be consistent with that previous page, I think
are
it
you
was.
on page 7 already?
Yeah.
Okay, I just went through, okay. Well, it says 2834.
Yeah, no, that was like,
Yeah, well,
There's a
I asked him to
couple
change that other one, so he said he would.
so yeah, so it's
Yeah.
page 3. It's
Yeah, he's gonna change that to 2834.
consistent,
Yeah, there's
and if
two
you
of them.
change the up gradient, that needs to be fixed, well, that's all fine. And then for some reason it doesn't have our medium household, but he's gonna put that in, right?
Where?
On part 4, page 7.
Oh, no, yeah, he's gotta, yeah,
It just says MHI of blank.
Oh, yeah. That needs to go in there,
Take good notes.
So is, oh yeah, it's not applicable. Okay. Doesn't he have enhanced water supply and demand reduction? I thought earlier instead of groundwater it said conservation or something. Or is that in the other one? Can't remember. It's in the other one. I think page 9 might not be consistent with this one.
Are you referring to the climate change?
I'm
part?
referring to the groundwater part because this one's asking if the project will affect groundwater and you don't have a,
Well, not because it's not.
no, that was the wrong, wait, somewhere in here, I'm looking at the wrong part. Somewhere in here it asks about, and it says increase surface water storage and conservation water use, and then in here it says groundwater.
So he's gonna
Yeah,
fill in
well,
on
I saw it.
12 to 14, whatever the regional objectives are, is that,
I'm on page 9, what do you?
I've already gone past it.
Yeah, I know, but I
Well,
think
because-
page 9 is not consistent with something I read in the other project description, I just have to, yeah, so it's under, storage, groundwater. I don't know, if you just can have them check it, I can't find it, but somewhere. Oh, yeah, so, let's see. So here it says increase water supply, reliability, blah, blah. And in this one, it just says groundwater, source for increased supply. Oh, I see, never mind, increase
They're
surface
different.
water, okay, no, I'm wrong. Forget that, I read it wrong.
In the last 3 pages, he's gonna figure that out, right?
Yeah, as soon as they're applicable, we'll go through them.
Yeah, you'll fill that in. Okay. I make a motion, that we approve the, Kern Irwin, project submittal form, with the changes that we noted. And that they go ahead and submit the, application on, by July 15th.
Did I have that on the first one?
You
On
didn't?
July 15th, I didn't. Okay, so first
Well,
of all,
well, let's
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
401.
And then I think we need to go back to the previous motion because it didn't say by July 15th.
We have to make a new motion or just
Just
revise?
a friendly amendment to that if the second, I was the motion maker, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
Naaman was the second.
Okay, are you good with
I'm
us?
in agreement with your friendly amendment.
All in
Okay.
favor?
Aye.
401.
Motion carried.
Motion carried, 401. New business, oh, let's go back for Linda. Let's back up to 9.
It's 7 o'clock.
I
That's
told the
7:28.
guy, yeah, between seven
Can we
and
take
seven
a,
thirty.
a break for a minute and then go, yeah, because I think we need
That's
to
right.
not go to Linda yet, we need to
We
go
need to go to our
yeah.
Bank
number.
card guy.
But can we take a
Bingo.
10-minute break and then go to our, oh, or do we need to call them definitely
gotta-
between 7
I
and
mean-
7:30?
I told him between 7 and 7:30, but it's kinda
Okay.
up to you if
I
you.
guess we can call them now. Yeah, let's go ahead.
Let's go ahead and call him.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna,
So what is he
we're
explaining
gonna
to
skip
us?
to 18.
So this is the merchant services company that reached out to us. They're a credit card processor, that's what it means. So they would be the company that processes credit cards both in-house and online. Right now we do use California Bank and Trust. If you look in your number 18, California Bank and Trust has their charges, they have their interchange fees, they have their transaction fees that they charge us. This company came and asked if we could send them California Bank and Trust's information. It's based on May of 2019. And he could compare what his company would also be able to provide in their numbers. And based on their analysis and comparisons between both in-house and online, they believe they could save us just over $2,000 a year.
2 years.
No,
Oh, no,
because the
I have
annual,
not.
if you add the annuals.
Aren't we locked into a time we have to stay with the California Bank and Trust?
I have to go over the contract that we have with them, and see how many, it's probably no more than 2 years, and we've had them at least 2 years.
Really, how
on
time
both.
goes, right? Goes fast.
Yeah, I think we, started online in
Been a little while
2017.
already.
It's been a while. But I can verify that we don't have any consequences. So, I just told him to introduce himself and his company, talk about what he could save, and then let you guys
Okay.
ask your questions.
What is the percentage in the blue? I can't read it.
Oh, yeah, you're right, 1.16.
1.61.
On the first page.
1.61%.
No, that's in the red.
That's in the red.
What's in the blue?
1.16 on
Oh,
the first page and 1.47 on the second page.
Oh boy. They use too dark a blue.
It did.
And then the other one is
So this gentleman's name is Ryan Russell.
4.7 or 1.45. I don't know. Okay.
Make sure we're Do you guys want mini speakers? Do you want to yell into the box?
I think we're fine.
Okay.
Give it to me, sir.
Hi, this is Ryan Russell.
Hey Ryan, it's Tiffany Maddy with Fraser Park Public Utility.
Hey, Tiffany, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
And I have
You
my
at board meeting?
Yep, we're live in a board meeting. We have 4 out of 5 of our board of directors present here, and our general manager and our bookkeeper. And I will turn it over to you.
Okay, perfect. Hello, everyone. How are you all doing?
Hi. Good.
Fine, good.
Thank you.
Are you having an
Well.
eventful board meeting?
Oh, yeah.
What? I'm
A
sorry.
long board meeting.
Yeah, well, perfect. Thanks for letting me jump on. So I work with BankCard USA. We are a member and a business affiliate with CSDA, and I had spoken with Johnny and Tiffany, and we are kind of working with some of the districts, especially the member districts for CSDA, just to review their current processing, because our goal with our membership with CSDA and with all the districts is to make sure they're aware of the utility discounts that are sent you all the comparison statements that we created, and based on what we can do through the utility discounts, it would be a savings of just over $2,000 a year for you all. And basically, the way that we're able to do that is we are a kind of a direct merchant processor, or merchant processing bank. I know that you guys are working with California Bank and Trust, and kind of the difference between us and them is that they do a lot of business accounts and loans and financing and things, and so they offer this merchant processing as a supplementary service, whereas with us, this is our bread and butter, this is what we focus on, this is all we do is merchant processing, which gives us the ability to offer a lot better rates when it comes to working with public utility districts and the such.
I'm a little confused, only because you have a line that says 48-month total savings instead of it for that amount. On both of your comparison pages, it says 48-month total savings.
Mm-hmm. And so right above it is the annual savings, and then we just stretch it out just to show you what an extended period would be.
Right, but you were quoting 2,000 something as our annual savings, right?
No.
Yeah, so between the two, so on the larger comparison, it's $1,450 for the annual savings, and then on the smaller,
Oh, so it's the two of those added together. I see.
Those combined.
Got it. Okay. A little tired tonight.
Yeah, no worries. And I know that Tiffany mentioned that she's going to California Bank and Trust to kind of offer up the savings that we offered you all to see if they want to try to offer you something lower. And of course, we would love to do business with you all. But if you guys are able to get the same rate through California Bank and Trust, we did our job. As we grow with CSDA, we definitely want to make sure that all the districts can come to us, even on a consulting basis, and just say, hey, we want you to look at our rates, make sure we're doing well. So if you guys are able to get the same deal from California Bank and Trust, we've done our job. Of course, we'd love to do business with you. So I think that Tiffany's waiting on that answer, but I guess that's kind of the next part for us to see if California Bank and Trust wants to do that. And if not, we'd be happy to do business with you all and have accounts with BankCard USA.
Right, and we're also double checking to make sure that we're not under a contract with them.
Yeah, understood. Yeah, and I know that a lot of the kind of business banks do have contracts, so that's definitely something you want to look into, because sometimes there will be kind of early termination fees and stuff like that. But so if you check with them, and if you do have some type of contract and you're not really sure, we're happy to take a look at it too. We review them very often.
Another thing Ryan was letting me know too is we use our credit card processor, the actual that you slide the card into. It's from First Data. It's something that we purchased from California Bank and Trust when we started services with them.
Yeah.
And Ryan was talking to his tech team, and he said that they would be able to reprogram or reutilize the pass-throughs that we already have. Is that correct?
That's correct. So what we would do is my team would just hold a quick call. They'd get all the information about the terminal, and if there was something that for some reason the terminal couldn't be reprogrammed, we would just give you a new one at no cost to you guys. We just make sure you have the same setup. But I talked to my team, and they said that it shouldn't be a problem. We're very familiar with First Data equipment.
And would we have a contract with you? Do you require a contract?
No, we do month to month. We have no contracts.
Okay. Now, does this interface with our
RSV?
our
RSV?
RDS system?
No, anything we do with the credit cards is hand keyed into RVS.
Okay.
So they're not connected, and then our online, they would process the payments, but our third-party transaction warehouse would get that information. He's already been in contact with transaction warehouse also, but that would still go to them and connect to RVS, so it wouldn't change anything.
Yeah, we spoke with Beth. We know Beth over at Transaction Warehouse, and she said that they're really as an agnostic processor, kind of the intermediary between your software and us. And she said that, you know, if Fraser Park wants to move, it's not a problem.
Okay. Does the board have any additional questions or anything?
That's great. I don't have any additional questions. I think we're just waiting to see what our current bank tells us.
Okay.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you all for letting me jump on. I hope you guys don't stay too late at the board meeting. Have a good night.
Okay,
Thank you so much. Proposal.
And we'll put it up for
Thanks.
consideration.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
He's a nice guy too.
Yeah.
He's easy to talk to.
Easy.
Get answers from. Everybody with CSDA I've talked to so far is something like that.
Great. I like that they don't have a contract either.
Yeah.
I know.
So
I
I
would
did
love to
send,
get a little bit of our stuff away from California Bank and Trust.
Yeah.
You know.
I did send his information, this exact thing, over to California Bank and Trust. I spoke to a gentleman named Alan. He looked at it and he was like, honestly, I doubt we'll ever be able to match or get anywhere near their rates. But he had passed it along to his team, and I have not gotten any response in the last couple of days
Okay.
after they had it. So we'll wait and see. And essentially, a lot of these charges we pass on to the customers. The $2.50 they use to scan, the
Right.
online fees. So if in the end we do decide to go with them, we could see
We might
how
be
the
able-
numbers play out in comparison to
Yeah,
how
we
much
do
we're
a test
charging.
for 3 months or something, or 6 months,
Exactly.
and see how the numbers are coming in, and then we might be able to revisit lowering the
Exactly.
the cost to our.
Which would really be nice, cause then we could get more people to pay with credit cards.
Yeah, I think if we lowered it, we'd have more
yeah.
people
Yeah.
paying.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Is your goal to get more people paying with credit cards versus checks?
Yeah, it's just easier for deposits and, you know, you
People
don't
hate
have
that. They
cash
hate
sitting
that
around.
service charge, though. They
And-
really do, and so you know.
Yeah, and a lot more people I think would pay online if they didn't have to pay as much online
yeah.
for the, 2% or whatever it is.
It's already changed, the online fees, it gives me an idea, it's like 480 something, where the in-house credit card fees are running about 180. So more and more people are going online.
Yeah, you can see that
I mean, in
here
my
based on
business,
the-
I think it's about 90% doing with cards.
Well, it's easier, and then
Oh,
you don't
yeah.
have anybody handling money, and it goes directly into our directly to us. So
And I think I'm the last person writing a check at the grocery store. I am, right?
I still see
Yeah,
some
I do.
people-
All my checks are electronic too. I'm still sending a check, but it's through the bank directly from the bank.
okay,
I
so
lock mine.
so I
I'm
guess
sorry.
we just direct. I mean, Tiffany, to find out if we're in a contract, and then maybe we can put on the agenda and make the decision maybe next time whether we wanna try them out.
Yeah, I think it'd be great.
Do we want to carry it over to second meeting or to August?
August.
August, okay.
I think. Yeah, this way
Yeah.
we already have.
We're having a second meeting?
Yes.
We gotta do
Pretty much from now on, for the most part, because we have all these projects, right?
Yep.
We were going to take them away, and it didn't happen.
Okay, so are we going to do Linda?
Yes.
Oh, do you wanna,
Do you want to do Linda, and then we'll take a break?
Yeah, we may as well.
Okay.
It's up, I can stay, it doesn't bother, if you wanna take your break now, it doesn't bother me.
I'm fine doing Linda's and then taking a break, so because we're still waiting for Dave.
Okay. He's probably here. I heard a car beep.
okay.
Can I use your?
Of course you can.
Makes it a little easier. Okay. So the total on cash and cash equivalents, 1,606,071.93. The operating account as of June 30th is 184,756.21. That does not include the disbursements that you have, and those total $28,592.04. And there was nothing unusual that I felt like I needed to bring to your attention. There is one bill that we did get that's for the planning. It's not included here. I've given that bill. It was $834, so it's our first invoice for the planning. And plus the director fees I gave. I forgot to give you that report for the June director fees.
yeah.
I'll give you that report.
What is our first invoice from for the planning?
From Young Woolwich
For Alan Dowd to
$834.
review the
Okay.
funding agreement and then give his.
Okay, because we're going to have to hold that aside because we don't have any money yet for the
Right.
planning.
We did. We held it aside.
Okay.
It's not included
Okay.
in the payment. We did not put
Great. Yeah, I didn't see it here.
that.
Okay.
So,
What did they do? What did,
They reviewed the contract
oh,
and
okay.
gave us feedback.
And what we may need to do, and we need to check on that because I think last time we went ahead, it's just hard to track. Like some stuff, if they insisted we pay them, we paid, but then we just have to stay on top of it so we're getting that money back because
Yeah,
it's
I-
real easy to lose track.
and I did remember I kept an Excel spreadsheet of
Right.
those fees, and I can do that again if it
Yeah,
turns
we
out that we have to
I
pay
think we
them
need
in
to do
advance.
that again. Because
So,
I think we will because the state tends to be
slow.
slow, yeah.
Right, so, the only other thing that I wanted to bring to your attention, D Jasper, we did get, $3,861 in bills for the well 5 repairs, so.
Right, yeah, well, it's in our,
Yeah,
and we have to pay that, so.
right,
And that's where we're putting in, that's part of, gonna be part of the money that Irwin will probably give us for doing the PER.
so that's what I want, that's for the, the monthly financials. And then I've also presented you with, as promised, the proposed budget and loss figure for 2019/2020 fiscal year. This report, and I'm sorry I forgot to change the date on it, does include through June 30th. I forgot to change it. It says May on here,
Bless you, Joe.
but it is through June.
Okay.
Well, mine says
Okay. Does yours say June on the top?
profit loss, July.
No,
Right.
no,
The
she's looking at the
year-to-date.
fourth one, year to date.
The year to date, I forgot to
Yeah.
put May, change
The
May to
fourth,
June.
the fourth column.
Oh, okay,
Okay,
okay.
so, and just as I said before, I changed some of the figures just slightly to be in line with what happened as of June 30th. Some of the figures didn't change at all because they were lower than, we expected, so I thought, well, this is what we had last year, so I kept it the same. And then you see the notes at the bottom. There was no changes in the notes from the last one I gave you.
Yeah, we'll have to go over that with Johnny. We'll start doing that probably either next week or the following week before the next board meeting, so.
Okay, now, just so that you're aware, if you need me to be part of that, I'm gonna be out of town, from Thursday until the following Wednesday.
Yeah.
So
Well,
this
we'll probably
coming
end up
week,
doing it on
so-
our own, and then if we have changes,
Okay,
Yeah, they usually we go through it once, the three of us, and then we consult with you.
right. Okay, so I just wanted to give you my time frame so that you know that I wouldn't be available for
You going somewhere fun?
to a tax seminar in Vegas. So Vegas is fun, but it's a working.
Those loud and crazy tax
Yeah.
accountants.
It's working fun.
Right.
Okay,
All right.
well, where's Johnny?
Right here, typing an email.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
well, I had one question. I saw on the credit card bill, what was that, what did we mail for $80?
Sorry, video camera system back to be repaired.
Oh,
if you look
okay.
at it.
Okay.
But it was two things.
Right, one went to San Francisco and one went to
Yeah.
Oklahoma?
Yeah, but neither one of them was $80 by itself.
Right, I mean, yeah, it was a total, okay. And then there was some charge on there for $1 something?
Remember that
Yeah,
$1.25
I have no idea what that was. She couldn't figure out either. It just showed up, and I have no idea what it was. Credit card for $1.
$1.25 charge.
You
Well,
went to
I'm-
Kinko's and copied something, cause that's what they wanted to do for me. I'm like, no,
Well-
I'm not paying it.
That'd be a
I
great
know what-
scam if you charged a whole lot of
It's
people
an air
$1 or
conditioning,
something.
air conditioner or something, so we have no idea.
I know for sure that I did not make any purchase for that little amount.
I don't know, I think we should take the cake back.
Yeah. Black, yeah. Yeah,
I mean, so are we paying it? And did we
Well-
question it? Do we care?
Wow.
$1.25 isn't worth the time to go for.
I know, that's why I think it
Right,
must be a
but-
scam thing.
But
How
what I
clever.
would say is we need to look and make sure it doesn't show up again next
Exactly.
month. Cause if it shows up again next month, we're gonna have to pursue it.
I agree, yeah.
Because, I mean, it's not worth our time for $1.25, but I just noticed it on
If it's
there and I.
$1.25 every month, that's something, right?
Well, yeah, and then it starts to
Or if you
be,
charge a whole bunch of people $1.25,
Yeah.
and they don't wanna question it because it's too small, how wonderful is that?
yeah.
So, yeah.
So,
Okay, I make a motion that we pay our bills.
I will second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried, 401.
Give you a chance to second something since I've been.
Did you wanna take a break now?
Linda, did you need to say anything about the proposed budget?
I'm sorry, what?
She already did.
I already did
Okay,
it.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's in here.
okay. Cause we were gonna table that and you said unless Linda had something to say about it, so I
Well,
just
so
wanted to
she
give
did.
her-
I mean,
okay.
I was just wondering if she had anything separate, but.
Okay.
Here,
Do
you
I
wanna
hear a
sign this
motion
and
for
get
a,
back to
10-minute break? Motion?
Do you still wanna take a break or do you wanna work through?
I guess we can work through. I'm just tired.
Are you gonna get perky if you take a break?
No.
Well, why not?
So yeah, I would say go ahead. Carry on.
Carry on.
Carry on.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, okay, wait, I gotta go back here and see what we moved. Yeah, the, discussion and, vote on, the funding agreement for the project planning grant. Is that you? You got anything on that?
Both the two ad hoc folks.
Well, we have, the only one that was D was supposed to get back to us and he didn't get back to us.
On the budget, the tearing, putting up and tearing down of the,
The mobilization.
Mobilization.
Mobilization so that, yeah, they wouldn't be stuck.
I guess.
And that's
what
really
we-
the only thing that
For everything else, so if he was so he was just trying to find out if there was adequate time so that they wouldn't be out
Right, and that's the
having
reason
him
we
come
were
back
gonna,
home, remobilize.
right.
I didn't hear anything.
Johnny,
I didn't
did you?
follow up with D.
No, Dee tried to call me today, but I was down in Bakersfield returning a pump rental and doing that phone conference, so when they called, I didn't call him back.
We were on a conference call with him
we should have asked
to the
him,
USDA.
but I didn't wanna ask on the phone.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't ask because it has nothing to do with USDA. So
I mean, when do we have to get this thing approved?
30 days from the last letter, right?
Right.
yeah, so it's
We're-
it's the last letter, not the. So they changed it. So that was
2 weeks ago,
a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
so.
And what information are we waiting for from Dee?
To find out, so we have we need to know about the mobilization, demobilization.
He was concerned about the cost, because we're saying we're agreeing to the cost,
how long.
But how
the
long?
time between.
Yeah, well, he
The
did
state-
discuss that recently, and what he was telling the state was he would like to have it as an option where you can move from one to the next, and then make the judgment call on the third. the state is hoping that we only have to drill 2 test wells, and so
Right,
they don't have to pay for that
But
third.
from one to the second was too long.
Yeah.
So he wanted to be able to find out, number one, how long can we go as far as mobilization demo? Like, how long are they willing to go between
'Cause this
projects?
is-
Because he wanted to move it to a much shorter time span.
Because if they don't change that and we sign off on it, then we're gonna get stuck with that cost
Right.
when they decide, oh, no, and so there's gonna be an extra cost in demobilization.
Or the state said that before each test well, they have to give
Approve.
And
Yeah.
So it would be too long.
that was, I know he was stressing that it makes it bids higher, it makes the cost higher. If the contractor is unsure that he could move to the next site,
So they're gonna build in extra cost.
I just texted Dee's cell phone. We'll see if he answers.
Okay.
Okay. And then, the meter replacement project.
have you got it done? No,
You're so
I'm
mean.
teasing.
Send this over to Becky.
Yes, we had gotten work plan, well, they gave us the work plan approval for some dates that pushed it back a little bit further. We plan to get it done. So with that work plan approval,
signatures.
I can move forward to get that updated, and I've been in correspondence with Johnny to get some updated information in the application.
So we ought to have funding by August.
August of what year, Johnny? 2020,
knows?
21?
2025.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, it's you folks aren't under any compliance order, right? You don't have any violations. They would give you a violation of not meeting maximum gate man or the loss of one of 2 wells, and that's the frustrating part.
Yeah, I think the only letter I've ever gotten was failure to sample a water quality.
Your SDAC, SDACs automatically get pushed ahead, so we just gotta get the application in. And Carlos had a lot of information that was there. It needs to be updated with more recent
Don't sign your check,
financials,
Becky.
and average water use and stuff like that, and average costs, so that's not impossible to do. We were waiting for the biological or cultural, and that was completed in March. And we're trying to get that finalized, and then the well 5 went completely.
And these are 3 signatures.
So, we're moving back on track, getting that application submitted. With your guys' approval.
So didn't we already vote on that?
It was, you probably already had. the
I thought we voted on it a while ago for the meter replacement.
To submit the application?
Yeah.
Yeah, way back.
Can you pass
Probably
these
way
to?
You
back.
might have a different,
Take yours and pass
person,
them along.
person authorized to sign.
Thank you.
Many moons
Right.
ago.
Could be.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to go through and check to make sure everything's up to date.
Yeah, because I don't know if that resolution,
Yeah, we have to dig it up. That was.
can you do that and can we put that on the agenda? Because otherwise we're not moving forward on
Think so.
that went stalled.
To get the information on the signer.
We need the
and-
signer, we need the resolution.
Okay.
And to see if it's the same thing, because if it's like the other one and it just says president, board president or whatever, we're fine. And then we need to find out if we actually voted, I'm sure, I remember voting on it, but I don't
Yeah.
know when. It's been a while.
To submit probably back in 2018 or earlier.
Yeah.
Carry over to July 2nd, next meeting in July.
The second meeting in
Yeah,
July.
July. Okay.
And we tore up your applications.
Oh yeah.
Yes, for the Irwin thing, yeah. He's got lots of changes that he's gotta make.
We just have to get that.
We give you
application
votes of confidence though on things, cause we couldn't even read them. So we just said, hey, Dave knows.
Oh, and your
Just have Dave
boxes.
fix this.
Oh, the boxes are, yeah, you only can read what's in the box, you can't read.
Yeah.
But if you had the
So there were just a couple questions we had. One of them actually you could probably answer, which was it says King's
Oh, yeah.
Basin
King's
on
Basin.
one of them, and on the other one it says like something wrong too. It says like Tulare Kern, because it was, so that's just wrong, right? It's
Well, the application, it's like a Tulare Kern, it's like everything south of the Kings River.
right, but one of them only says Tulare, and it doesn't say Kern, and then one of them says King's whatever.
Yeah,
and
those
it
where you
doesn't
fill
say
in all that
Kern.
stuff?
Yeah.
I asked Jeff if it was apropos for the app. I said, I'm just gonna fill it in. I'm not. Why would they have it? I just think that's an oversight on their part.
Okay.
So I just filled it in. And there's Ilse who was at the meeting I think a couple months ago in Bakersfield. I ran the application by her. No, I ran the Woods application by her. I gotta run this by her. But she in Lake of the Woods, we filled out that whole thing, and even though it said does it meet this Kings River or the
Right, that's what it said.
criteria
Right.
and stuff, I'm going, why would they have this? And they're going through all these different Irwins,
Yeah.
and a lot of them, most of them are not in the Kings River basin. I don't know why they have it there, and I just better to fill it out than not.
Right.
So if they have it, they have it, and so if they're using that criteria and they're judging everybody by it, I'm assuming, that's what I'm assuming. Now, it doesn't affect the Kings River Basin, but it has effect on, what goes on locally with your groundwater.
Right.
So that's how I filled it out, essentially.
Yeah, everything, the other stuff was fine. It was just,
I'm frustrated over the amount of time I've been spending on such little amount of money, but it's grant money and it's available. I should have attended one of those darn workshops that the other staff at Self Help put on. I don't have time.
Okay,
Okay.
That has to be submitted by Monday.
yeah, so
We
we
gave you
we
approval.
basically gave you
with
a,
the changes and.
we passed both of them with some amendments and gave you a vote of confidence to fill out the stuff that wasn't filled out.
Yeah, there was a second one where I saw in there you had to be listed as a project. I don't know if they had to show that you're getting listed as a project or you already are listed. So I wanted to just do a project list application form, that 14-page one, and just get it in there so it's there. Say, hey, list us, and here's our application
Okay.
for the funding, just to cover your bases.
Okay, I think that.
How did you do?
Huh?
How did you do?
Great.
You did great.
All right, good.
Oh, yeah, we bombarded him and he's like, huh?
Yeah, we basically picked on him just like we picked on you.
Boy.
So he's now
When he
been
gets more,
initiated.
when he gets more comfortable, he'll be yelling back at us.
Well, when it gets dark, I'm gonna go drop off on top of Fraser Mountain. No.
It's like, oh man, this is
I think
what
he's
Dave's
sitting-
gonna put up with all this stuff.
He's sitting here thinking, Dave, where are you? Dave, where are you?
How's that Lake of the Woods?
Okay, I don't know about what about the new USB well grant loan application? Is that something separate from the other one?
Yeah, it is. It is something we talked about today.
I don't think we talked about it, right? I think we skipped that too.
What's that?
The well 5 grant?
Item 12?
Did you folks discuss the Well 5 USDA?
Well, that's what we
Oh,
talked
that's
about,
what
that was
conference
what we
Conference call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that already.
And you already gave approval to move forward with the application?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you guys, is Well 5 up and running? Or is
Not
it-
yet.
Well, 5 is
Well,
not
we're
quite.
waiting
It's
for the state
waiting for
to,
approval.
approval.
We
But
did-
we're
we did
meeting
all
all the quality, water quality issues. There isn't any water quality issue, but you have to submit everything to the state and they have to give us the okay to turn it on.
Monday.
Yeah,
So hopefully Monday we'll have it
okay,
up and running.
great.
And then there's pizza if you want,
If you're hungry.
if you're hungry, and
And
cake.
cake
Cool,
and salad.
alright, I might dig in.
Okay.
Sugar was.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
take charge.
in new business,
You're not gonna get
mainline extension on Kiwanis,
Oh, yeah.
Johnny.
I think we.
I think,
We tabled that.
Oh, we tabled that one? Okay.
Yeah, this
Oh.
agenda's a mess. Good luck
Yeah,
on
sorry,
navigating through
sorry,
it.
Tiffany.
Okay,
We're on 16.
good luck, Tiffany.
16, resolution, FP 20190711-01, authorizing Kern County to act as the agent in the collection of taxes.
You want me to speak to this?
Yeah.
So this is something we do on a regular basis every year. It's just a resolution. It's the same resolution, but Tiffany's reworded it to be appropriate for this year.
Just.
All it is it allows them, so the stuff that Tiffany's been doing, as far as assessments, as far as the, standby fees, and then also the,
Non-payments.
yeah, the what's it called?
Delinquent.
Delinquent accounts. I'm tired. So she's at the point where she's now just needs our authorization to have them collect it through the taxes. So we do this every year. So we just need to look at it, make sure there's nothing. Actually, she could probably tell us just what she's changed on it, which is probably just the date, basically, and the amount.
The tax year changed, that's about it, so 2019 to 2020.
And then don't you put the amount of the, not the standby fee, but the other one? No.
Yeah, the delinquent accounts is the third page.
And it's
Exhibit A,
attached,
yeah.
yeah.
I redacted private information
Yes.
because it's better to do so in a document for the public meeting. So those are the ATMs, the amounts, and then the total at the bottom. The county requires that attachment.
Wow, it's crazy this time.
It's a lot higher than we've had.
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay. So yeah, I'd like to move that we approve resolution FP 2019-0711-01, which is the matter of water availability and standby charges assessment, delinquent accounts assessment, resolution authorizing Kern County to act as FPPUD's agent in the collection of assessment taxes for the 2019-2020 tax year.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
401. Okay. Discussion and vote on,
Thank you again,
information
Tiffany.
sharing with Tejon Castaic Water District.
I just wanna say before we move on, this used to be so painful, and I just am so grateful to Tiffany for making it a pretty painless,
Well, for us, kind of painful to her.
yeah, it's still not as painful as it used to be,
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So, but it used to be a really, really arduous task, and it's really great now, so thank you so much.
Thank you,
You're
Tiffany.
welcome.
Okay, sharing information with Tejon Castaic Water District.
That was Director Schoenberg requested that.
So, yeah, I put that on here. I don't know, I think it should be discussed when, we have all 5 directors, so
Carry it on.
I'm gonna say carry it over to not the second meeting in July, but to
First one,
August.
first
Yeah,
August.
the reason I put this on here is that, I mean, we need to share some information pretty rapidly, but I don't think we've done anything, cause we've been overwhelmed with an awful lot of stuff, because I know they wanted stuff for that stakeholder meeting, and I never got back to the person, and she never got back to me, in regard to they were trying to figure out the basin as far as, all kinds of historical records. I've had too much on my plate, so I didn't follow up with that. But I think in the future, it's just important for us to kind of consider what we want. I mean, everything's public, so they can look stuff up, it's just, do we wanna go through this extra work of providing all this information, or do we just want them to get it from what's public already?
Yeah, they can do a public information request, and then we have a certain amount of time to give it.
Right.
But that's only for information that already exists. If they're asking us, hey, find out something new
Some of this
that you
is-
don't already have, that's what we'd have to
Some of this
decide.
is new, and some of it I actually wanted to go the other way. I actually wanted to get from Cajon, and the stuff I want to get from Cajon is that they had all the information on the measurements of the Cuddy Creek,
Right.
and so that I want to carry this over and get that information at some point. I think that's really valuable to us, and then it's just, you know, do we have the time and energy to provide additional information to them for their the GSA and GSP, so.
I think we're gonna learn a lot more at this next meeting on Tuesday.
Okay, we're gonna carry this over, so why don't
So,
we,
yeah. Okay,
so we can get on with other business.
we
and
did that one,
finish up?
okay.
Hello.
Oh, approval of, the minutes for, 6:13 and 6:27.
I did not look at them.
I only looked at one this evening and I didn't get through all of it.
It came a little bit late,
Yeah.
it's a hectic week.
Can we carry these over? Would that be okay?
Cause we could do it quick at the
We
second
could
meeting
do it
this month.
quickly at the second meeting, yeah, I'm just,
Okay.
Is that okay, Tiffany?
To the second meeting? Yeah.
we didn't get it with a
Okay.
whole lot of time to do homework, and I've had a lot of homework.
Okay, future agenda items?
So just the thing that I mentioned earlier, which is we need that resolution for,
Yeah.
And I assume we're carrying this fund loan agreement for the next meeting, to approve
Yes.
it next meeting. Well, we're gonna have to approve it this next meeting.
Yeah, we have to.
We've
yeah,
gotta
it
get it
has,
done.
it has to be approved.
The thing, yeah, with the,
So,
Thing
but
with
we
Dee.
can't approve it till we hear from Dee, so Dee didn't contact you back, right?
Did
Bless
not.
you.
God bless you.
So I think,
Is there a way you can
do
contact
we
him
have
Monday
the
or
date?
something?
Can we double check and make sure that the next meeting's not past the date?
It's, the agreement should be in here, does it have the date on it?
Yeah, it didn't
No.
have the date
The
on it.
letter, well, cover letter. It's the cover letter that came with it.
You didn't have the cover letter in there.
It was just from an email.
It's based on the second one that they sent, not the first, but I am concerned about it because I think it was falling in between the two meetings, I thought.
Okay, the required.
That's why we
no
wanted
later
to
than
do
30
it
days from
tonight.
the date of the transmittal letter.
Yeah, but I don't see
Yeah, I don't see a transmittal letter.
Is that the email?
yeah,
Is
July,
the email the
I have
transmittal?
latest funding agreement, June 25th.
So
So
now
maybe
it'd be,
it's-
so it'd
it
be
was
July
attached to this.
25th. Yeah, so that would be July 25th. It was
Which
30
is-
days from
Well,
The
July,
meeting
the,
date?
Our
the
next
the
meeting.
letter should be, the earlier one was June 5th, and it
the.
had.
Right, but then they changed
our
some
next one
stuff,
is
so
July
it was supposed
25th.
to go
So-
from.
So there should have been a June 25th letter, or a later June letter, cover letter.
it's in the car. Want me to get it?
It's what?
My copy is in the car. I don't have it here.
Yeah. I mean, I know it was later in June, but I don't know what the date was, and if it's the 25th, that's a problem, because that's the night of our meeting.
On the 28th.
June 28th?
I think what you might have to do, Johnny, can you find out from them what the due date is, and we may have to have another meeting before then, because we have to sign it. And we need to get, Dee has to get that information before we can sign it.
To sign it, then you have to have your general counsel,
Look
at
read
it.
the letter and
Yeah.
sign it
That's why,
the
that's
same
why,
day or later.
Yep.
and Dee said he would have it for us and,
For tonight.
yeah. You know what? It's probably in the minutes.
Yeah, Dee just didn't have it for us. And we didn't ask earlier.
Well, we got the email on June 25th. Says I've received the proposed change to correct the email address listed on page 2. I'm rescinding the agreement that was issued to you
Right.
on 2019. Attaches your new agreement for,
So then the date's the
Approval.
25th, which is the day of our meeting.
And that's not, but then council doesn't have time to look at it and,
well, there's nothing for the council to review. The only issue that we had was with
I don't remember. if that
having
was
them
an
to have
issue.
the approval.
I think we might have to have a meeting before the 25th.
Could you,
Alright, I just sent the email to everybody involved asking them, and I included, Brahma and Lisa.
Okay.
could you do it conditional upon D signing off or satisfying? Could you approve the thing conditional upon D
Wouldn't-
confirming that?
That was the only question. And we gotta do no matter what the
Yeah,
state
but if
says
we
anyway.
confirm it, then we have to do the. Yeah.
I mean, no matter what the state says, we still have to go with what they say, we're just hoping they change their mind, right?
Right.
They respond quickly, yeah.
It would make it a lot better to approve it and then, I could just run it to you guys to read it and then take it down to Alan to have it signed and then get it shipped to him.
I don't see it.
How do you wanna word the motion?
I don't know. Tired. I mean, we don't really have a choice. If we wanna move forward, we need to
Well, I think we need to
approve it.
But what's the downside of approving it pending?
The only downside
And
is
more
if
money.
if the state, okay,
No, I'm talking about if we do it conditionally, if we agree tonight conditionally on the part
More
that,
money, because it might be that
Oh.
D, the answer to D is that the demobilization, that the
oh,
state says, too bad, you can't, we want time to approve it between each one, which is gonna cost more, which we may end up having to pay for,
It's gonna be out of
because
our-
we won't have enough money coming in.
Well, I recall you saying that it depends how much time. Like,
Yeah.
if they have to wait
yeah, he was saying
a
not
few
more than
days,
like
it's
10
okay,
days.
cause then they can
but-
move from one side,
Right, but he wanted to press the state on that.
yeah. So if D's able to be satisfied.
But
with that-
the problem is that either way, but if we approve it without that wording, that's a problem, because we're approving it without that
Right,
wording.
because then we're liable.
Yeah, so I don't think we should approve it
okay.
yet. Because then,
Well, I mean, I guess if we have to have an earlier meeting, I don't know. I don't wanna
can
have.
we just look
just
and
for-
see if we,
The 18th?
You're talking next week,
yes,
Lisa.
yeah, I
one
know.
week.
I can do the 18th.
I mean, I can do the 18th if we have to, but
I mean, we could do the 18th instead of the 25th.
Yeah, I mean, 18th is
could,
gonna
right?
be a special meeting,
It will be a special
and then
meeting.
the 25th would be a canceled regular meeting.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
That's okay to do that, isn't it?
But Dave can't be here.
I could call in.
Oh.
Right?
But can we,
Yeah.
can we do a
Yes.
special meeting for something? Well, it's not an emergency meeting. That's the one in the Brown Act
Yeah,
we can't do,
no, a
right?
special meeting, we just have to have a 24-hour notice.
Okay,
And it can be all of the other stuff that we were putting on the agenda for the regular meeting.
okay.
It's just that because we're doing it earlier and because we're adding something, it needs to be a special meeting.
Got it.
Because it's not our regularly scheduled meeting. So yeah, I think we should do that. Which means that we need to find out ASAP from D and from Lawrence.
Well, he's included in the email with you guys, asking about what our deadline is and whether or not we need to have another special meeting to meet the deadline, so we'll see what everybody says, and you guys will see the response.
Well, they'll say no, but
No, that wasn't what I was asking what our deadline was to sign the
Okay.
agreement. That's all I said, I didn't say what information we were waiting for.
okay.
I play cards better than that.
Yeah, 'cause Dee sat here and he assured us that he would have that information to you.
Yeah, that's a mute point.
Yeah,
at
he's
this
And
point.
he may have, that may have been why he called.
Oh, he did call.
I told you, he called when I was in Bakersfield today and left me a message.
Yeah, it probably is.
Okay.
And
You
I
gonna
think
step up and be here on the 18th and
Well, it's really a
not you,
question.
it's your
Oh,
partner
Ben.
back there.
Well, but I mean, really, it's a question that Dee has.
Yeah.
And so, if anything, I could call in and everything, but I
But
think
you,
it sort of
but
relies on
we're
Dee's.
talking about the 18th being our normal meeting, so we would want you to call in anyway because we're gonna have questions about the normal stuff for the other.
Okay, yeah, I'd like to call. I'd like to ask if I could call in because I'm
Yeah,
our
I don't see
grandkids.
why not.
Our
Yeah.
grandkids are going to be with my wife and I
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Oh.
the night before
You
that
can,
night.
you can call in anytime. You said you like coming here, so you can call in.
I'll bring the grandkids and we'll go use his father-in-law's cabin up above Pinion Pines.
Yeah, you should've. My kids were here earlier.
Oh. Well, these two kids are like
Older.
no, these are
Oh, younger.
yeah,
Little kids. Who's
they're
kids?
3 and
So we really need an answer by Monday, cause you have to put the agenda out on Monday to have the special meeting, right?
No, a day
Well, I
before.
give
But it's
I'd like
nice
to
to
give
do it
more
earlier.
notice, but
24 hours for a special meeting. 72 for
I'm
a
sure we'll
regular.
get the answer on Monday from somebody.
Okay,
Okay.
alright, I think that, I make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second it. Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 8:20. Everybody have a great night.